Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Matt Billy is attacked in the corners, and Noah, Kane, and Phyllis are captured. Noah Newman will be cornered by Matt Clark, also known as Mitch Bacall, while Billy Abbott will be attacked. Here's what fans might anticipate: Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers will also be apprehended. First, since Jill Abbott doesn't want Audra Charles to work for Abbott Communications, Billy and Sally Spectra will argue over whether or not she should. Billy will break a commitment he made, which will cause more turmoil for Sally and Billy in the future. Despite his assurances to Sally that he was focused on their business's future, Billy may exhibit resentful tendencies. Billy will soon cause issues with the Newmans, and after he is attacked, he will receive awful news. Sally might suffer as a result of Billy's errors, as Adam and Victor Newman will proceed with a strategy that could harm Abbott Communications. Phyllis will disagree with Victor once he decides to utilize the Pilfered AI program to demolish Kane's empire. Even if Phyllis is partially to blame, she might eventually comfort Kane. In any event, Lily Winters will ultimately discover something startling about Kane and Phyllis. Due to the fact that Phyllis and Kane will find themselves in a contentious situation together, Lily may witness a passionate shift in the events. When Sienna Bacall visits Noah Newman in the hospital in Los Angeles, Nick will undoubtedly see a dose of passion. According to YNR spoilers, Nick will interrupt Noah and Sienna after they kiss, raising concerns about their romantic relationship. Nick will also tell Sienna about Matt's past and all the horrible things he has done. Sienna will realize that she doesn't really know her husband because Mitch didn't tell her anything about it. Sharon Newman, on the other hand, will bravely oppose Matt and threaten him. There will be some uncomfortable moments in their next encounter, since Matt will also threaten Sharon. Matt will send Detective Burrow to the hospital after he arrives for another assignment. Matt's next visit to Sienna's side piece should be made possible by Detective Burrow's successful removal of Noah's guard. It appears that Matt will corner Noah and possibly make him fear for his life once more. Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti will finalize some of the wedding plans in Genoa City, while Tessa Porter once more turns to Daniel Romalotti Jr. for support. After Victoria Newman returns from Los Angeles, there will be some familiar energy between her and Nate Hastings. How long will it take for the former flames to become more than just friends again? Nate and Victoria have some intimate moments coming up. Victoria and Nate might eventually need to change their relationship status, according to teasers on The Young and the Restless, therefore, keep checking back. Nick finds Sienna and Noah together. Holden told Claire about his relationship with Audra last week. Audra's secret, as it turns out, is that Holden took care of her when she stole money from a man. There is, however, more to this tale than Holden is disclosing, in typical soap opera form. Audra accuses Holden of telling Claire their secret during a furious altercation. However, Holden responds that he did it to prevent Claire from investigating his past. Then he cautions Audra that neither of them wants to share the story. Victor seemed to have finally defeated Kane. Victor is now the most powerful person in Genoa City because to Kane's AI software. Victor intends to use the program to ruin Kane's empire in addition to obtaining Jabot. Chelsea is ecstatic when Adam informs her of the most recent development in the Victor and Kane conflict. However, she points out that Adam appeared to be upset about Kane's death. Adam has always been Victor's faithful accomplice, but it's possible that he's rethinking Victor's most recent plan. Because of his sudden change of heart, could Adam be supporting the enemies of his father? Devious detective, villain versus wedding plans, victim. Every storyline in The Young and the Restless will come together in an emotional and chaotic storm during one of those explosive weeks. From Billy Abbott being blindsided by revenge to Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall, cornering Noah Newman in a deadly showdown, and from Kane Ashby's scandalous entanglement with Phyllis Summers to Victor's merciless attack on his rivals, viewers are in for a whirlwind of deceit, danger, and shocking exposure that could change Genoa City forever. Let's start with the chaos brewing at Abbott Communications, where Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra are once again on the verge of implosion. Their relationship has been teetering for weeks, but this time, the cracks might be too deep to repair. Billy and Sally will have a heated argument about whether Audra Charles deserves a place at the company. Jill Abbott has made it abundantly clear that she does not want Audra to be around their business, but Billy, being Billy, is tempted to go against convention and act in his own way. He is reminded by Sally that they are supposed to be focused on the company's future, not waging personal wars against the Newmans, and she accuses him of allowing his emotions and resentments to cloud his judgment. Despite promising Sally that he'd put business first, Billy slips right back into old habits, plotting vengeance instead of strategy. He takes rash action when he learns that Victor and Adam have a covert plan in place because he can't stand the thought of Victor Newman winning yet another round. Unfortunately, Billy's latest move is about to backfire in spectacular fashion. Victor and Adam's father-son alliance is about to turn ruthlessly destructive. Victor, ever the master manipulator, uses his leverage over Kane Ashby's stolen AI technology to hit Abbott Communications where it hurts. Adam, though conflicted, reluctantly follows orders, even as guilt begins to gnaw at him. He doesn't want to destroy Sally's company, and deep down, he knows this attack will devastate her. But Victor's words echo in his mind: family loyalty isn't about comfort, it's about power. Soon, Billy finds himself under attack from all sides: a business ambush, legal threats, and the threat of public humiliation. Abbott Communications stock drops overnight, and Sally's heartbreak turns to fury. She accuses Billy of causing this by defying her and provoking Victor. "You didn't just risk the company, you risked us," she cries. Billy tries to get things back on track while feeling guilty, but it's too late. The Newmans have struck, and the Abbott legacy is bleeding. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers is caught in her own web of destruction. She thought she had removed her digital fingerprints when she broke into Kane's system months ago to steal pieces of his AI software. But Victor's latest power play has turned her scheme into a ticking time bomb. When Victor confronts Phyllis, he lets her know exactly what she's up against. "You built the weapon, Red, and now I'm using it." Phyllis tries to deny her involvement, but she knows the truth: she started this war, and now she's losing control of it. In a moment of desperation, Phyllis goes to Kane Ashby to warn him. What begins as a tense confrontation turns surprisingly intimate. Kane, still smarting from his professional downfall, finds himself drawn to Phyllis's fiery spirit. "You always play with fire, Red," he mutters, pouring another drink. "And this time, you burned us both." One moment of vulnerability turns into something much riskier, an impulsive kiss that spirals into passion. Neither of them expects Lily Winters to walk in and witness it. Lily stands frozen in shock as she sees Phyllis and Kane together, disheveled and guilty. The betrayal hits her like a sledgehammer. "After everything we've been through, this is how you repay me?" she insists. Kane tries to explain, but Lily storms out before he can get a word in. The scandal explodes like wildfire, and suddenly, Phyllis and Kane's careers, and reputations, are hanging by a thread. Back in Los Angeles, the drama takes an even darker turn. Noah Newman is recovering in the hospital, still weak but trying to piece his life back together. His world takes a bittersweet turn when Sienna Bacall, still struggling with the truth about her husband Mitch's real identity, comes to visit. Their connection has grown dangerously close, and despite everything, passion takes over. Sienna leans in, and they share a kiss, one that doesn't go unnoticed. Just in time to stop them, Nick Newman bursts into the room. The look on his face says it all: shock, anger, disappointment. "Are you kissing her?" he demands of Noah, while Sienna pulls away, trembling. Nick lays into both of them, furious that Noah would betray his recovery and that Sienna, Mitch's wife, would be so reckless. However, Nick's next statement alters everything. He begins to recount Matt Clark's horrifying past, the cons, the blackmail, the people he's hurt and left for dead. When Sienna realizes that the man she married is not only dangerous but also capable of much worse, her eyes well up with tears. She murmurs, her hands shaking, "He told me his name was Mitch Bacall." Nick nods grimly. "That's just one of many lies." Sienna begins to unravel emotionally, and it doesn't take long before the nightmare she's been dreading materializes. Mitch, finds out about her hospital visit and Noah's kiss, and he's enraged. The vengeful monster beneath his charm disappears completely. He storms into the hospital disguised as a visitor, his eyes cold and calculating. Detective Burrow, suspicious of Matt's presence, tries to intervene, but Matt has already thought of everything. He lures Burrow away under false pretenses, sending him on a wild goose chase for a supposed security breach. By the time Burrow realizes he's been duped, it's too late. Matt has slipped past the guards. The hospital corridors are eerily quiet as Matt moves closer to Noah's room. The tension is suffocating. Noah, still weak from his injuries, senses danger before he even sees it. Matt enters calmly and with a predatory grin as the door opens. "You didn't think you could kiss my wife and get away with it, did you?" he says softly. Noah's heart pounds. He tries to call for help, but Matt grabs him by the collar, shoving him back against the bed. This isn't just a warning, it's a declaration of war. With a low, threatening voice, Matt leans in close. "You should have stayed in your lane, kid. You should have stayed away from Sienna." Noah cries out, unable to breathe. Sienna doesn't deserve this, but Matt just smirks. It has nothing to do with deserve. The confrontation escalates as Matt's rage boils over. He nearly snaps, but footsteps echo in the hallway. Sharon Newman is there. She bursts in and freezes at the sight of Matt cornering her son. "Get away from him, Matt," she yells. Matt turns, smirking again, but there's something chilling in his eyes. He warns Sharon to be cautious. "Don't start something you can't finish," I say. But Sharon isn't backing down. She's faced her share of monsters before, and she won't let this one destroy her family. "You think you can scare me? You've already lost, Matt. Everyone knows what you are now." Matt lunges toward her, but security rushes in just in time, pulling him away. As he's dragged out, his eyes lock on Sharon's. "This isn't over," he hisses. Not in the slightest. Meanwhile, as chaos unfolds in both cities, Genoa City is preparing for something much more peaceful, or so it seems. Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti are finalizing their wedding plans, eager to tie the knot after decades of missed chances. There's laughter, champagne, and a promise of happily ever after. But even amidst the romance, trouble lurks on the edges, because in Genoa City, happiness never lasts for long. Elsewhere, Tessa Porter leans on Daniel Romalotti Jr. for emotional support as she faces a new creative challenge. Their connection deepens, sparking curiosity, and perhaps a little jealousy, from those watching. Where no one expected it, could there be a new romance? And finally, Victoria Newman returns home from Los Angeles, her emotions tangled after a complicated reunion with her daughter Claire. As fate would have it, she crosses paths with Nate Hastings, and the chemistry between them reignites instantly. Their friendly catch-up quickly turns intimate, stirring up old feelings neither of them can ignore. "I thought we were done," Victoria says quietly. Nate smiles. "We've never been." From business betrayals and forbidden passion to near-deadly confrontations and emotional reunions, The Young and the Restless is delivering everything fans crave: scandal, suspense, and soul-crushing heartbreak. As Billy's empire crumbles, Phyllis and Kane's scandal spreads, and Matt's darkness grows, the line between villain and victim blurs like never before. One thing's for sure, no one in Genoa City will leave this week unscathed. As secrets are revealed and alliances begin to fall apart beyond repair, the tension in Genoa City and Los Angeles only grows. Matt Clark, who went by the name Mitch Bacall for many years, is now fully exposed. His mask has cracked, revealing the darkness beneath the charm. Even as he's dragged out of the hospital, his eyes burn with vengeance, and his threats echo through the sterile hallways like a curse. Sharon Newman, shaking from the encounter, pulls Noah into her arms. "You're safe now," she whispers, though even she doesn't quite believe it. Noah's hands tremble as he looks past her toward the doorway where Matt disappeared. "No, Mom," he murmurs hoarsely. "He is not finished. He will never cease." The doctors rush in to check Noah's vitals, but Sharon can't shake the feeling that Matt's final words weren't a bluff. He is plotting somewhere out there, and he will succeed the next time. Across town, Sienna Bacall sits alone in her car, tears streaming down her face. Her world has collapsed in a matter of hours. The man she thought she loved, the man who promised her a future, is now a violent threat, a criminal, and a manipulator. She recalls every romantic moment, every expression of affection, and every memory, realizing that many of them were based on lies. "Mitch, who are you?" She weeps. However, she is already aware of the response. He is not Mitch Bacall. He's Matt Clark, and he's capable of anything. Meanwhile, Nick Newman meets with Detective Burrow, furious that security at the hospital was compromised. He shouldn't have even been allowed near the building. Nick shouts, slamming his fist on the table. Burrow, ashamed, admits that Matt used his own authority to mislead him. "He's smart," the detective mutters. "Too smart. He planned every second." Nick sneers. "After that, we outwit him. Whatever it takes, he's not going to get near my son or my family again." Billy Abbott is discovering the hard way that vengeance comes with a price back in Genoa City. The fallout from Victor's ruthless business strike is catastrophic. His phone hasn't stopped ringing, shareholders, reporters, lawyers, everyone demanding answers. Sally Spectra, equally furious and devastated, storms into his office, slamming a stack of documents onto his desk. "Billy, we are being sued. Victor's got us backed into a corner, and it's all because you couldn't leave it alone." Billy rises from his chair, frustration flashing in his eyes. "Don't you dare put this all on me, Sally. Victor's been coming for us since day one. You think he was ever going to let us succeed?" Sally crosses her arms. "He didn't have to try so hard, Billy. You gave him the ammunition. You made yourself the target." Her voice trembles, but it's not just anger, it's heartbreak. "You promised me that you would alter. That you'd be better than this." Billy softens for a moment, stepping closer. "I am trying. But you can't expect me to just sit back and let Victor destroy everything I built." "Everything you built?" With tears welling up in her eyes, Sally responds. "What about us? I thought we were working on a project together. But every time things get tough, you turn it into another Abbott versus Newman conflict." Billy's face is filled with guilt as he looks at her. "I cannot reverse the events. But I'll fix it. I swear." "Fix it?" She says it bitterly again. "You can't fix what's broken already." And with that, Sally grabs her things and walks out, leaving Billy staring at the door, realizing he may have just lost the woman who believed in him when no one else would. Elsewhere, Phyllis Summers is dealing with the aftermath of her reckless decisions. Word has spread about her in Kane, and Genoa City is buzzing. Gossip blogs, whispers at society, scandalous phone calls, the town thrives on chaos, and Phyllis has just delivered the biggest headline of the week. Lily Winters, heartbroken and humiliated, throws herself into work at Chancellor Winters, refusing to acknowledge Kane or Phyllis. However, her silence says a lot. She's not just hurt, she's plotting. Lily has always been the calm and collected person, but being betrayed has made her more sinister. When Devon tries to console her, she cuts him off sharply. "Don't," she warns. "They think they can make fun of me, don't they? I'll make them regret it." In the meantime, Phyllis is attempting to restore order, but she is failing miserably. She finds Kane at the bar, nursing his third drink of the night. As she slides into the seat next to him, she murmurs, "You're really taking this well." Kane laughs bitterly. "What's left to take? My company's gone, my reputation's gone, and now Lily's gone too." Phyllis heaves. "I didn't mean for this to happen." "Didn't mean to?" His glass is shattered when his cane snaps. "You came to me for help with Victor, you pushed me to fight back, and then you dragged me right into this mess." Phyllis recoils, but she does not deny it. "You're right. I did. And I'd do it again if it meant taking Victor down." Kane looks at her, stunned. You still don't get it, do you? He's already won. Their conversation grows quieter, more painful. Phyllis, always upstanding, brags about her pain. He hasn't won until I say he has. But her voice cracks, and Kane sees through the act. For the first time, he sees Phyllis not as a schemer, but as someone who's utterly lost. Over at Newman Enterprises, Victor Newman sits in his office, watching the chaos unfold just as he planned. He says to Adam with a cold tone, "The Abbotts will learn. Never cross a Newman." Adam, who is seated across from him, doesn't say anything. He's tired of the wars, the manipulation, the endless cycle of power games. "At what cost, Dad?" he finally asks. Victor raises an eyebrow. Winning is always worth paying the price. But Adam isn't convinced. He confides in Chelsea Lawson later that night, and she immediately senses his inner conflict. She says softly, "You're starting to sound like the old Adam. The one who questioned everything your father stood for." Adam gives a head shake. The old Adam would have burned the whole world down just to prove a point. The new one's just trying to stop him from doing the same. Meanwhile, Matt Clark is already on the move. Though he's been temporarily detained, his network of shady connections ensures that he won't stay behind bars for long. Within hours, he's released on bail under a false identity, a move that leaves Detective Burrow fuming. Burrow tells Nick he slipped through the cracks again. Nick tightens his teeth. "Then we close the cracks." However, Matt's subsequent action is not one of evasion but rather of retaliation. The moment he's free, he begins tracking down everyone who stood in his way: Sharon, Sienna, and most of all, Noah. He's no longer pretending to be anyone else, he's Matt Clark, and he's coming for revenge. Sienna, terrified, checks into a hotel under a fake name.